We're caught in our own
structure.
Implement those rights.
Teaching each other.
There's an interest in the world for Aboriginal people.
The youth kind of have a knowledge of what's happening in their communities and outside their communities.
First Nation peoples of today have to realize that we have to put economy on our agenda.
Economic development and wealth creation is nothing new to us. Welfare programs came in, we sort of went to sleep. It's time to wake up and begin to assert our rightful place.
It takes a dream, passion, it takes an idea, and it takes the determination to get that idea into a working mold.
When we signed treaty, for example, with the Crown under the international law, we were automatically recognized as a nation.
The importance of this overall conference was to look at the harmonization of those two aspects of our overall development. And that is one is of good governance, meaning to run our chiefs, our councils, our governments in our communities in a way that inspires entrepreneurship and investment in our communities, which means developing our economies locally and also regionally in our traditional territories. So that was the area of discussion, is to bring those two together. And also to do it while we have youth involved in our discussions, meaning to say that since they're going to be playing a very important role in our overall development economically in the future, they have to start being a party to our discussions. And that was the objective. And I think we did that, we achieved it.
Bonjour. I think it'll be an honor toward our Creator if we all rise, show our respect to Him.
I'm glad to see so many young people come to this conference there, listening to them, what they have to say to it. And nowadays I think that the young people have better opportunity, more opportunities for them to develop themselves to become somebody as they grow, which I didn't have in my younger days.
Bonjour, everybody. I'm certainly glad to be here today, especially glad to see a lot of youth attending this conference. To look at the community governance and economic development in our First Nation communities and territories. The youth, I want them to kind of have a knowledge of what's happening in their communities and outside their communities right now.
To have a choice to be able to say, I want to be able to do this. And by hearing them to say that, we can provide it for them.
To look out for the long term.
The youth component expectations were exceeded. We had great, not only great numbers, but great participation from the youth. And luckily enough, we were able to get like Georgia and more, so to speak, from a youth perspective early in the conference.
Again, what is governance? So perhaps you're looking for further explanation. Yes?
And because I'm such a strong advocate for young people, I feel it's important that I make it aware to them that there are resources out there, there are options, and there is lots of opportunity for them to achieve success, self-governance, and economic development.
I really liked what Georgia and Morriso had to say.
Good morning, my name is Sonara from Couchiching First Nation. You had mentioned previously that there were hurdles, for example, within the Indian Act that sometimes prevent youth and people in general from achieving their goals. What sort of advice can you give to assist us, the youth, with achieving these goals and to abolish the obstacles we have ahead?
Because there's a lot of steps involved, but I think as long as we have a general idea of what it is we need to do, and you keep that goal close to you and within sight, then you're going to achieve something more. And with all the success that our young people have had to this day, I'm very, very impressed and I'm very hopeful that we can achieve self-governance and we can, as youth, rise up and be better people.
Closer to the end, we had Brent Achny-Peniscum from Pace Plat.
I'm just basically hoping to meet people, and because here are political leaders, here are CEOs of companies and stuff like that, and they all have something to say. Well, I want to send a message that youth can be educated.
We need communication with our youth.
What was often lacking was the youth interacting with the adults on very serious topics, such as governance and economic development, and we had that. And going forward, of course, we want to continue to expand on that.
Because I really wanted to get into the self-governance thing, which would certainly apply to them because they got to have a feeling of what's going to happen in the future.
Georgianne Morris, so brilliant leader, young leader. I couldn't believe she's that age, but anyway, she's very well spoken, very articulated in her views, and if that's the sign of leadership to come, man, we're in a real great position in the future. Well, it's not already now. Eh? She's participating in these discussions, right?
Please put your hands together and welcome Georgianne Morris.
I just want to first acknowledge all our elders who came here this morning to support this very, very important gathering. I'm truly honored to be standing before you guys this morning to be able to speak and give you guys my perspective on youth community governance and economic development. Read it on the screen, and I want everybody to say this all at the same time, because this is what we have to do in order to achieve change and to accomplish good governance, good sustainable economies. Bizani go again. Again, one more time, I want to hear louder. Come on, don't be shy. They're beating each other up over there. Anyhow, I just want to say thank you to all of you for being patient with me and giving me the time to speak with you this morning. Thank you very much. Miigwech.
And when you have the passion, it'll give you the drive, the energy, and you will find the resources to do it.
Over the next 2 days, you'll be hearing and meeting with respected, experienced businessmen, one of which, I might add, is a member of Fort William First Nation. And you will be listening to effective role models for you, members of our youth, on issues relating to economic development and governance.
There's a cable network on the internet called Open Vision Networks Television. It's www.ovntv.com, and currently I own a channel, 400, and it's dedicated to our people at sharing our stories from our perspective. And there are 10 channels available for our communities to basically put media kits together so we can teach the world who we are. Need to be able to tell their story. We need to be able to share our good and our bad. I'm part of a project called Open Vision Networks Television. And basically, these friends of mine have created a sovereign nation in cyberspace. We're getting enough finances to be able to put the camera in your hands to say, what story do you want to tell? The networks hate us because it's free. And we're the only technology-only network that exists in this format of cable television. It's basically, imagine APTN on the internet, worldwide. And you as an individual can take a camera and say, this is my life. Put it in a DVD, you send it to me, and the world has access to you.
My opinion, in terms of the governments and the economic development, they intertwine very tightly.
Unless First Nations have stable government, it's very hard to have an economic base.
They want to see more opportunities for especially their young people.
I believe that the expectation of this conference is to define how First Nations can re-establish their governance in terms of achieving the most positive economic development for their First Nations.